Okay, 6:45, Friday morning. Good morning. How's everybody this morning? Good, excellent. So this week we're striving to maintain a positive and professional image of ECI to our employees, our clients, our vendors, our subcontractors, and the public. One of our most important code items. So let's really say that. Let's keep that positive professional image out there as we're representing ECI. Got a lot to get to this week, so we'll try to go through. So we're at 70 days now, another 7 days without recordable. So let's keep that cranking. We are at the final stages of quarter one. We've got about 2 weeks left of the first quarter of the construction season, and then we're really going to start ramping things up. April is kind of the beginning of the construction season, so we got some good things lined up, some good education awareness things that we're planning on to present at the safety meetings. We're seeing great participation, so I'm thank you, and then everybody that's tuned in on the go-to training. It's been great. So let's just keep this forward momentum, keep raising the awareness on the unsafe conditions, unsafe acts, and how to properly eliminate those. So I know we're going to have a guest speaker today, but he had to cancel last minute. He was sick, so we're going to hopefully have that DMV officer come on in about 2 weeks. So, and then next week we're going to start our wellness series with PT 360. All the questionnaires that you guys filled out, they've been able to pull all that information and kind of do a nice little program level of things that interest our workers when it comes to wellness. So we're excited for that for next week. So for this week, we're going to quickly just do one of those compliance trainings that we have to inform our employees on these typical hazards. So this week, we're going to quickly just kind of cover bloodborne pathogens. It's something that regulatory through OSHA that we have to inform our workers of the potential of bloodborne pathogens and how to properly protect ourselves and how we can offer or what we can offer to protect you as employees. A safe work site from bloodborne pathogens. So what is a bloodborne pathogen? Is an infectious material in the blood that causes in humans hepatitis B and C. There's HIV, and workers are exposed to these pathogens, risk serious illnesses and death. So really, it's anytime someone cuts themselves, how to properly use first aid. Everybody here that went through first aid training a couple of weeks ago, we kind of talked about gloves. Wearing gloves, how to properly clean up. Report that thing so the proper trained personnel can help clean up the scene. And really where we mostly get exposed is when we're doing sewer work. All right, sewer work there's a lot of potential for a lot of bacteria, really some really nasty stuff, and people flush down their toilets and whatnot. So sharp object, broken glassware, we got first aid stuff, and anytime we see blood, we have a potential to get exposed to it. So what we have to do is try to protect ourselves. So we try to do that by treating all blood and bloody fluids as possible infectious. All right, skin protection from pathogens, cuts, dermatitis, chapping, small cracks allowing germs to enter the body. Those are kind of routes of exposure points. So again, gloves. The only way to really protect yourself is the awareness and wearing PPE. And first aid, gloves. Have a little contact as possible with the blood or bloody fluids. Again, hygiene, wash your hands with antibacterial soap after being contact. Then after contact, flush the eyes and face with fresh water for several minutes. Really try to get this stuff off your skin if you do come in contact with blood. What we can offer is the hepatitis B vaccination before you go into some of these spaces if you're going to be doing a lot of live sewer work, tie-ins and things like that. We set up free for all employees who are exposed to blood or other potential infectious materials as part of their duties. There's 3 injections, vaccinations that we can set up right at Champlain Medical. It takes about, I want to say 6 months. They kind of prolong the series, but it helps you be able to protect yourself from hepatitis B. So the CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control, they estimate there's approximately over 100,000 HPV vaccinations each year in the United States. So, it's out there. This stuff does happen. It can happen to anybody. So really, the awareness level of it, put it where it needs to be. Protect yourselves. Report anything. We we have a process in place to hopefully protect you. If you are interested, come see us, and we'll get the shots. Now,
how long does it last after you get go through the?
They say about 15 years. It's very similar to the tetanus. Thank you, tetanus shots. Yeah. Is there any questions? If not, we're gonna pass it over to Brendan Stringer. He's got a little thing on the Hilti.
Morning, guys. So last week we talked about transferring consumables out of the tool crib, and so this week we're going to talk about transferring assets. So it's pretty much the same process, but the difference is what we're transferring. So consumables are like your PPE, basically the stuff you get out of the crib area itself. And assets, if you remember, are the generators, the pumps, sort of the bigger things that there's only one of, and you guys share as like a company, or we share as a company. So it's the same process. You open up your Hilti app, and you click your transfer button, and then you click your scan code because you would like to scan it. And so in this case, we want to scan, the Hilti tag. What I have shown here is one of the Bluetooth tags, but it could be one of the little tough tags that are on it, or if something's tagged with one of those square little barcode stickers, that would work too. So the idea is you're scanning the asset. So in this case, if it was a pump or a generator, this would be dangling on the pump or generator. So then you click your done once it says that your asset's scanned. And at this point, you could scan multiple assets if you were grabbing 2 pumps or a pump and a generator or whatever else. So then it would fill up your cart here, and you could see that, in this case, the tag that I scanned goes to one of the sawns that the drillers use, but it would show whatever else you guys had scanned here. You click the next arrow. You just put in where it's going to. In this case, it was going to me, so I put my name in. You make sure that the collect signature is on, and then you click the next arrow. Put your initials in there, click the checkbox, and you're good to go. So that's all there is for transferring assets. I know I went through it pretty quick, but it's because you guys have already seen this. It's the exact same process as when we did consumables. And the only other thing I wanted to touch on is this doesn't have to be done from the tool crib tablet. This can be done from any of your phones out in the field. So if I'm coming on a job site to grab something from Rob, I could transfer that asset from Rob to me. Like if I need to borrow a pump, or if I need to borrow Rob's generator, or whatever the situation was. Or if Rob sent me to the tool crib to pick up something, so it was transferred to me, but once I got on site, I transferred it to Rob's job trailer, or whatever the situation is. Just that way we have that line of like tracking where the asset goes. So I think it's going to be really important here as we can start moving into construction season for us to start getting these things on our phones. And it should be on all the tablets. So if anyone has questions about getting it set up on your phone or using it on your tablet, let me know, or let Elliot know. We can get you guys squared away.
Actually, really, really easy. So just gotta try it, get it out there and utilize it.
Are there any questions before I turn it over? Brian?
I just wanted to say it's really important also for tracking. If all our stuff, if it doesn't get pinged by somebody, we're not going to have reliable info where something is.
Right. So as I kind of explained initially, the way it works is that the Bluetooth tags are pinged by phones with the app installed. So the more phones that have the app installed, the more accurate the location data is for all of the assets. And this isn't just our company. Let's say, for example, Ireland also got the same system. Their phones with the app installed would ping our stuff and update it for us. So the more people like worldwide get this, the more accurate the system gets. I know that's a pretty big picture, but that's the idea. Anything else?
So they can see what we have?
No, they can't see what we have. But if one of their devices happens to find one of our tags, it will update the location in our system. Does that make sense?
So if there's a light plant, someone drives by and pings it. Oh, there's that light plant.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Brandon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk. Thank you. I'm going to talk real quick about Foundation Mobile. Everybody's been doing an amazing job entering in their time and checking their time at the end of the week. But there has been a few instances where, somebody may work a half a day and then they submit their time, which is great, and then they leave it at that. So, like this time of year, it's very easy to put in just a 40-hour week. And when we run a report and we see somebody with a 35-hour week, we're like, did they forget the 5 hours that they're lacking? Or, did they want ATO? Did they not want ATO? So it's very important. And I'm going to go over the taking unpaid time off. So basically I have, as you see here, this is actually Mr. Orslak's recording that you don't want. He's got 6 hours of time, and he's got a doctor's appointment, so he's leaving, and he's got 2 more hours to make up, technically an 8-hour day, but he doesn't want to use ATO. So it's very simple. He would go in here. He's already got his default set through here. So the only thing we would need to change would be the job. And you'd go down to 14, time off. This would be the same process if you're doing ATO, paid time off. Cost code, it defaults automatically after you put in time off to ATO, holiday, bereavement, jury duty. And then this is the one, the earn code. If we open this up, this is where it's going to show you all the earn codes for time off. So right at the top, you have secure time off if you wanted to use ATO for the 2 hours. Bereavement, if you're going to, somebody passes away, right?
Yep.
There's some emergency stuff in there. Holiday, jury duty, and then here we go, unpaid time off. You click onto that. Unpaid time off. Standard default shift, and you'd enter the day, and so the 15th, and we're going to put 2 hours in there. And, you can put something in like, left early for appointment. Okay, and we're going to just simply save. And now you can see Mr. Orslak has a full 8-hour day. He would submit that through the submittal process. And then when we run a report on him at the end of the week, just to make sure like somebody didn't miss it, it happens. I mean, we're all busy. Make sure somebody didn't miss a time, and we see, oh, Matt has 40 hours or he has 45 hours. We know he's covered.
Or like on that day, he has 8 hours, right?
Yeah. So we can look at it day by day, week by week. We can see Mr. Burns, for some reason on Tuesday, he only had 4 hours. Well, that doesn't make sense. Mr. Burns usually works golf day. I should have picked somebody else. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. So that would throw up a red flag to us. Like, why did you only work 4 hours? Let's make a phone call. Mr. Burns, what's going on with that day? Oh, I forgot. It's very important we get this stuff right, so that you don't get the phone calls, and the project managers don't get the phone calls, and then the girls feel comfortable at the end of the week that they could finish their payroll and everybody's paid. And that's the biggest thing, is we're worried that you guys aren't getting. We don't want to short pay you guys. We want to make sure you guys get the money you deserve, and. But other than that, it's going very smoothly. We've heard nothing but good things in the PM meetings about you guys doing your time on time. And I also made, one other quick thing. Sorry, you guys. If you ever have any questions about any of this stuff, if you go to job files right here and you pick number 1, this one only shows 1. I don't know why I had a whole list this morning, but you can go in here.
You gotta probably sync it if you just.
Oh, gotcha. Hold on, let me
just
sync
put
it.
it in. You gotta sync it back up.
This is a good thing for guys to do too.
Syncing is good if somebody changes something on there. Yeah, it still shows that one. Job files.
It takes a bit. You gotta refresh.
Sometimes you
Oh,
can
refresh.
too.
Yeah. Job files.
Yeah, I'm in there. But all these little tutorials are in here for your review, you guys. Basically, what I'm saying is all these tutorials are in here for your review. And I've got one right here. I printed off some copies if somebody wants to take some. And it's very simple. It's the earn code that is the most important thing. Getting that earn code right, you'll be good. And making sure you at least have 8-hour days. Yeah, it's going to include. So by the time you get to Saturday, I'm sure you're over your 40 already. It's not going to send up a red flag.
The weekdays will send up a red flag to the people up front because if they don't know and you have 2 hours in there, they're going to start making phone calls and spending time, and everyone's going to spend time trying to discover what your intention was or what you did the rest of the day. If you report it, then it's already recorded in the system that your intention is that you took the day off and you don't want to get paid.
Yeah,
you don't want to get paid.
And it seems logical to people as they're looking at the reports. Because after all this is done, it just doesn't go up to accounting. Like the PMs look at it. Joe Appleton looks at it. I know Joe Murphy goes through and checks a lot of his guys and makes sure that all their time. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes just making sure the time looks reasonable and right, just so that there's no mess ups and that you guys, again, get paid.
I think that's an important thing that the company wants to make sure you get paid.
It's
because you could some companies go the route that if you don't put your time in, you don't put it in there, you get whatever you put in.
Yeah, you screwed it up. It's your fault.
You did it, so you'll have to. And it's hard to deal with this stuff in the next week for us, just because when we have something that's messed up and we have to fix it, it takes extra time to go through the mental process and how do we fix it and how do we take care of paying someone for some time that they didn't get paid. There's one other thing that's important. When you put in your time, make sure you look at the date.
Yes.
A couple of guys have had the issue at the end of a month where they hit the wrong calendar. You know, when you select your day on inputting your time, they selected it a month ahead just because they're kind of looking at the calendar and it was like March 1st and they were like, oh, I think that was the 26th. So they hit the 26th, but they hit the 26th of March. They didn't get paid. They didn't know where their time went. The person that approved it actually approved it, but it was approved in April 26th. So their time was input into the future, which is possible. And everyone was so upset because the guy, he put it in and the person approved it. It wasn't there. There was no record of it because we weren't searching in the right time frame.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So look at the date when you put your time in. And if you're an approver, look at the date when you approve it.
I know Tom Lawyer, he goes through all his guys, make sure everything's complete.
The date's important because it can be mistakenly done. So.
Exactly. If there's any other questions, just give myself.
Overtime start after 8 or after 4?
After 8.
Kind of both. Changed then.
Yeah.
Both, right?
Did we change that for Arnold?
I don't think Arnold gets that benefit.
Yeah.
So these are right up here at the corner of the desk. Feel free to take one. And call Justin or myself, Joey. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So real quick here, we got announcements. Next week we're going to switch to the 6:30 start for safety meeting. And also PT 360 will be here at the wellness meeting on Tuesday the 19th. That's this coming Tuesday, 3:15 to 4:30. So please sign up.
Yeah, I got room available if anyone's interested. Get with us.
Last week we sold out, or 2 weeks ago, whatever. We sold out.
We did. Yeah.
We did. So
Yeah.
better get signed up. So for projects, we are profiling the Platte Cove River project in Saugerties, New York. We were hired by this Royers Construction as a subcontractor to them to install men and equipment to assist in the 42-inch casing installation. So we did mold, demold. Of course, we had a small crew, and our 42-600 American Augers auger bore machine, and a hammer for driving it, and the gear, of course, to hook up. And then we drove 120 feet of 42-inch in auger, or we provided auger sections, I guess, of 42-inch for augering out the driven casing. So it's part of a larger stormwater repair project by this contractor. The old pipes were severely corroded and need a replacement. 42-inch line installed by ECI went under this Platte Clove Road, and it was about 40 feet, a little over 40 feet deep under the road and a little over 100 feet long. So there's a picture of the process there from up top. It does look like it's quite a ways down from the road. Looks like this guy is running Komatsu here, as you see. And at one end there was a wall, a retaining wall. So they had to bust through the retaining wall after we got right up behind it. And there it is looking back through.
Rifle barrel.
Yeah, nice. Good work. Michael, you were there, and Greg, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, yep. It worked good. It's like pretty heavy wall pipe. Is that 1 inch?
Yeah, it's three quarter. They doubled it up on the lead edge.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Yep.
So your lead edge was 1.5 inches.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty serious there. And then from the photo archives, this is in the inside of the bridge, the IBM bridge, where they're hanging conduit way back. Must have been in the 70s, maybe.
Early 80s, I think.
Early 80s.
Eddie Douglas.
That grating's all rotted now.
Yep. Except that looks like fiberglass, that pipe. So it's probably the only thing standing. Bridge is not, but conduit is. All right. Well, good. We're all set. Have a good safe day.
Jesse, you little